Hello, everyone, and welcome to EduMatch. Follow along with us at bit.ly/tweettalk78A, as well as on Twitter with the hashtag EduMatch, as well as the hashtag Google EI for tonight's very special episode. So before we get rolling, just wanted to remind everybody you could sign up to be our featured EduMatch person of the day at edumatch.org. So just an FYI, the list is a little long right now, but good things come to those who wait, because in the meantime, if we find some potential matches for you, we will tag you. And in addition, if your blog has an RSS feed that's findable, we will tweet out your blog posts as you write them. So definitely looking forward to growing our EduMatch family. So today we are going to have a very special episode. We're talking about Google Innovator Academy. So we have with us a fantastic panel. And we're just going to go ahead and kick off with introductions. So we're actually going to start this time going from right to left, because we have joining us a very special guest, Wendy Gorton from the Google Innovator Academy. So if you could please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey guys, thanks Sarah for having me on EduMatch. It's really fun to be in the EduMatch family. You guys can follow me at Wendy Gorton, and like Sarah mentioned, on the Google EI hashtag. But I'm so stoked to share about the program with you guys today and with our awesome innovator panelists below. But I'm a former fourth grade teacher, come a technology coach, and now the last 4 or 5 years have been working with the Google for Education Certified Innovator Program, as well as EdTech team for bringing this awesome program around the world. We're going to be in London April 19th through 21st, and that's what we're chatting about today. But you can be from anywhere to apply. The program is at almost 40 academies now, over 1,300 educators, principals, tech coaches all around the world join the network. And we've had awesome coaches like Sarah, who's joining us today, helping coach basically educators with a really innovative idea who want to work on that and unleash it on the world. So that's what the program's all about. We are excited to share there's a few more cohorts opening in 2017 in North America, and also in Europe, and also in Australia, New Zealand. So there's plenty of chances and plenty of opportunities to get involved. And I'm excited to share about those today with EduMatch, Sarah.
All right, awesome. Well, welcome. We are so happy to have you here. All right. So going next, we have Tom. So Tom, if you could please tell us a little bit about you, as well as what cohort you were in.
Hey, Sarah, it's great to be here. Finally, I'm in EduMatch. It's been way too long. Always pleasure when our paths cross. So I am a digital learning coach at a middle school here in North Carolina, and I was part of the Colorado cohort.
Awesome. Well, welcome to EduMatch, Tom. And also from the Colorado cohort, we have Desiree. So if you could please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Desiree Alexander, aka Educator Alexander, and I am an instructional technology supervisor in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I am the founder and consultant for my educational consulting company, Educator Alexander. You can follow me at Educator Alex, and I was in the fabulous Colorado cohort.
Awesome, awesome. Lots of Colorado folks here, but we also have somebody here from a different cohort. So Carla, if you could please tell us about yourself as well as your cohort.
Hi, I'm Carla Jefferson. I'm an instructional technology coordinator for a rural school district in South Carolina, and I was a part of the Toronto cohort.
That is awesome. Very, very happy to have you back here with us, Carla. So thanks for joining us. And I was part of the ATL 14 cohort. Woo, woo, woo. And I was also a coach in Colorado for 2016. So that was such a great experience. So so the first question I'm going to ask, I'm going to pass it over to Wendy. Can you tell us a little bit about like the UK cohort that's coming up now, like deadlines and what people need to know about it?
Definitely. This is actually the third cohort in London. The 2010 was the first one that I was at as an innovator, and then we've been there in 2012 and now coming back. And it does take place at Google London, so you do have to physically come April 19th through 21st. So as you're preparing to apply, be sure to check your calendar and make sure you're available for that. But it is a year-long program, so you get a year-long of support and mentoring to finish your innovation project in whatever form that might be. But to get it, you got to apply, right? So you got to go for it, and application is due March 6th. So you have plenty of time to take the prerequisites, which is the Google for Education Level 2 certification, and I'll drop some links in as well, but that's kind of your first step. And the second one is to film a vision video of whatever idea that you might have to change education. You want to share that and capture that in a video and a deck. And I'll also share a link. It's a bit.ly/innovator cohorts with an S. You can see all of like Carla and Desiree and Tom in a little lookbook, so you can kind of get your mind going with what their projects are and connect with them, ask questions. It's a huge community, just like EduMatch, of people who want to connect, want to collaborate. And so if you have questions about the application or want someone to look at your video or your deck, these are all great people to give feedback to for sure. But March 6th is the deadline, and then in March we'll also announce the next cohorts as well for 2017. So that's just a few details, Sarah, but I'm happy to answer any more that come up, and excited to hear from the panelists too.
Absolutely. Great information. Thank you so much for that, Wendy. And just wanted to remind anybody who might be watching right now, if you have a question for the panel, you can either drop it on Twitter with the hashtags EduMatch and Google EI, or drop it in the live chat box going on our YouTube live page. So I see that Kathy just popped into YouTube live. Hello, Kathy. And hello also to Leslie and to Anne. All right. So the question I'm going to ask our panelists is about application tips. So Desiree, we're going to start it off with you. What tips would you give to anybody who was interested in applying?
Well, the best thing that I went to when I was thinking about applying was the webinar that Google gave, where they talked about different tips and things like that. And the one mistake that I was about to make was to make sure that my project was just all about Google. Google, 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 Google. And I was just going to make sure that I used every Google tool I knew, and even some I didn't know, and I just was going to Google it up. And that was what they said not to do. They said just pick something that you are truly passionate about, something that truly will change education, something unique. And it just completely threw everything that I was thinking out the window. And I chose something that I truly was passionate about, and that was what became my company. So I chose something that I was really passionate about, something that I really felt would actually help educators, that would change education, something that I thought that I could bring to the table. And that's what I went with, and I was accepted. So that's what I usually tell people, is to first of all, get all of that out of your head, clear your mind, and really concentrate on something that you are really, really passionate about. Because like Wendy said, you're going to spend a year or more on this working with your mentor. So you don't want it to be something that you're just doing to get in. You want it to be something that you are truly passionate about, that you can work on and grow. So that's my biggest tip.
Absolutely. Definitely staying authentic to what you're passionate about. Absolutely. All right. And Tom, what about you? What would be your application tip?
Well, let's see. So first of all, know that it's an ongoing process. It may not work for you the first time. And so it worked for me on the third time. Third time was a charm. And there are educators who've had more than that. I wrote a blog post about that. You know, if you've not been accepted, don't freak out. If you Google my name, Tom Mulaney, and don't freak out, I think it'll come up. From there, I watched a similar webinar to what we're doing now. And someone said, don't just put yourself and your slide deck up. And for my second application, that's exactly what I did, because that's what I did with my students. I would make these lesson recap videos. It'd be me and my slides. And I thought, oh, it'll be true to what I did. Get a little more creative with your video than that. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. So definitely being creative with your project, letting your creativity shine. Absolutely, great tips. All right, so
Tom's blog post is so great too, Sarah. I think not only for this program, but all of us on EduMatch, we're all striving to to become better educators and better practitioners, and so we're always going for some of these kinds of programs. And I think Tom's blog is so inspiring that to keep trying. And oftentimes it's you can only accept a small number for each cohort because we have to go to a Google office and all sorts of funding and things like that. So oftentimes we're not accepting everyone who's as excellent to become one for sure. So sometimes the next time you apply, it works. So I totally love that blog post for sure, Tom.
Thank you, Wendy. And I just want to point one other thing out. When it comes to your sharing, you'll be asked to share a bunch of things, including your level 2 certificate. And on my second application, I put the wrong sharing link for that level 2 certificate. So, and if I can overcome that debacle to become accepted later, then if this round doesn't go well, you have a future ahead of you. Don't sweat it.
The devil's in the details for sure. Sometimes, yeah. And if you guys search YouTube, on that site that I said, bit.ly/innovator cohorts, you can see everyone's videos. So if you're looking at what a good 1-minute video looks like, or how to kind of display that passion that Tom's talking about, or Carla, you mentioned, it's a good way to get it. They're all very different, right? So there's not like a magic formula, but I think that passion for sure is there.
absolutely, absolutely. So I'm going to go next to Carla and ask you, what are your tips for anyone who is applying for the Google Innovator Academy?
I think what Desiree and Tom said were perfect. Like, one, make sure that you choose something that you're passionate about. Try again. When I got accepted in Toronto, that was my second time applying. And also, don't, like, when you go, or when, as you begin to apply, you don't have to have something fully fleshed out. That is exactly what the Innovator Academy is for. So think about something that you're really interested in, that you're really passionate in, and just kind of get an idea, have an idea of what direction you may want to go, but also be totally open to, just kind of seeing where the journey takes you, because so many start with one idea in mind and then they totally change direction. So one thing that I think helped me a lot was that the one that I got accepted, was so personal to me. Like, I used my personal experiences as a parent and an educator to determine what I wanted my passion project to be. And that made a difference. The first one, it was something that I was kind of sort of interested in, but also don't try to rack your mind about like what's the latest thing, because the latest thing may not be for you. And so that shines through in your video and in your slide deck. And I think the other part is that, like, make sure, like, the first time I did it, my video, I spent a lot of time on it. I didn't spend as much time on my slide deck. And I really think both pieces have to be, in agreement is all I can think of, but that's not what I want to say, but they have to be in alignment, I guess, when you create it. So, and I love Wendy's tips about look at what other people have done. I mean, I was all through YouTube looking at other people's videos, and there are so many innovators that are so open to looking at what you have and giving you feedback. So you're not an island. Someone is always willing to assist you and help you as you begin this journey.
I love that last part about how you just said that this is not an island and you have people all around you to help you out. Absolutely. Could not agree with that more. So fantastic. All right, great. So the next thing that we're going to talk a little bit about are the Innovator projects. So many of you kind of touched upon it already. So I'm going to ask, Wendy, could you please just kind of tell us a little bit about what the Innovator projects are? Totally.
And I was just on the hashtag and saw Stephanie out there. So Stephanie working on a really great Google Parent project. But essentially, what Desiree, what Carla mentioned about having something that may change, right? A lot of the innovators who've come through have changed their job role, right, halfway through the year, or perhaps their context change, and so projects change, right? But you have this initial idea of something that fits your context right now when you're applying, and I think that original kind of problem or issue that you're facing and what your possible solution for it is really what you get the year to work on, and you get to collaborate and mentor with someone. You get exposure to Google for Education programs and products, right? So we had someone from our Mountain View cohort, Andrew Caffrey, who's was working on a add-on or an extension, and so having access to either a Googler who might be working on that, or the right people to see what you could do with that is really exciting as well, and having that year to post it, right? So Stephanie online right now has been getting really great feedback with a first version of that project, right? And being able to throw it out with your cohort, with the larger community. Another innovator, Austin Hoop, is just fresh in my mind, that was looking at kind of crowdsourcing and getting data for a Google Maps project. Being able to do that throughout the year and work closely with someone to refine it. But essentially, you want your project to be accessible and replicable to other educators, right? That's what it's all about. And there's a new Google for Education Transformation Center where we'll be posting the projects so that other teachers can find them and can use them and remix them and use them in different ways. So hoping that we get more educators like Kathy, who's watching right now, to apply and get their ideas out there for sure.
Awesome. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So Desiree, how about you?
I mean, Wendy pretty much summed up everything. She I don't know what else to really add, but with your kind of what Carla said too, with your project, that you don't have, and I hate to just repeat what she said, but you don't have to have this fully, baby ready to ship kind of idea. It could just be something that you're like, okay, I'm really passionate about this. This is how I can help. This is how I see I can make a difference. And then you go with your application, your slide deck, and your video from there. And what I would add, and I don't know if this really fits into this or the tip part, is that with your project and with your application, truly show your personality. Show who you are. Get into it. If you're goofy, be goofy. If you're funny, be funny. Don't be boring. So if you're boring, don't be boring. Be someone else. But truly show your personality. Get in there, just be yourself, and truly just show your passion. So with your project, you're going to be doing the same thing. You want it to be, again, something that you would want to work a lot of time on. And kind of to what Carla said too, sometimes you'll go in and you will completely change everything, even your topic about your project, because you're going to, in that space, in that Innovator Academy, it is such a just bonanza of learning and of just innovative waves going everywhere. I can't even explain it, to where you get so many ideas that you may just completely drop everything you thought you knew. And by the time you leave that weekend, you have a completely different Innovator project. So just start with something that you're passionate about, but kind of like Carla said too, just be open to the innovative waves that are coming your way.
Absolutely, definitely. I definitely want to second what all of you are saying about it. It doesn't have to be a fully baked idea. It can, when you get to Innovator Academy, then you can definitely build it up and you get a lot of feedback. So it's great. It's fantastic. All right, Carla. So how about you?
I think also just thinking about the need where you are. For example, my application that got me in was on blogging, and blogging is not new. Blogging with students is not new, but it is still such a need where I am. And I know how powerful it is. I've done it with students for years. I I ended up doing it with my daughter so that we wouldn't kill each other because she hates to write. And so, you know, you're thinking, oh, well, that's not new and innovative. But to your area, it may be. And so because you can change the world where you are, if it's new and innovative for your area, it's going to be new and innovative somewhere else too. So the project that you create can be used again in another place that may be having some of the same challenges, or, you know, the environment is the same as what you are. So like I said, and I think I said this earlier, don't worry about it being this thing, because something that, I mean, just when we look around where people are, everyone is in a different place. So how can you change your world where you are? And once you do that, that will benefit someone else.
That's awesome, Carla. That's kind of one of the tenets of the Innovation Project is think big, but start small, because that's where all educators have their impact is right there with what's available to them. But I think that's what's fun about the program is being able to amplify your impact for sure. And that's something that you can work on throughout the year, but starting with what's possible with what you have in your own backyard is so important. So awesome.
Absolutely. I love that. Love that. All right. So Tom, what about you?
So in my case, I had a problem. I had a challenge that I wanted to work on. I did not have much of an idea. I honestly didn't make a ton of progress. I actually did make some progress at the Innovator Academy, talking to people. And that really was the benefit of it, was getting to meet all these different people. Some people I had connected with, some people I had not. And so through the school year, I've taken a few steps, and actually just in this last week, I've taken a whole new direction. I can't really speak publicly about it because it's not really ready. But just yesterday, I spent almost my entire day just working on it, and this past week connecting with other educators to work on it. I think in March I'll have some stuff ready to share with the world. But long story short, like I was there in June, and this is going to be March when I can say, hey, I have something I can show, you know. So it can happen like that. As long as you have a problem or an issue you're passionate about, that's a great start.
Absolutely. Definitely bringing that passion into your project. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So Wendy, a question came up in the EduMatch Voxer group about anything that's automatically disqualifying. So could you speak a little bit to the eligibility piece?
Totally. So you do have to be an educator in you know, some form, right? So you want to have, and that role could be so different, right? It could be higher education, it could be K-12, it could be you know, administration or leadership, or it can be a lot of, you know, tech coaches or instructional coaches for sure. So being involved in education is obviously one of the huge requirements. But you do also have to have some sort of history of innovation, right? You're trying to do this kind of stuff. And so there'll be a couple of short answers on the application that asks you to show that, right? And show how you're trying to innovate in your school environment. And then you also need to take the level 2 certification. But there's a whole training course online. I'll try to, the YouTube live doesn't let you put the link in. So Kathy and Sherry and others watching on the YouTube live, I'll share it on the EduMatch hashtag. But you know, there's all self-paced studies that you can do, and we have our Innovator YouTube channel, we've got some panels about getting level 2 certified. There's all sorts of ways to get there. But maybe that's your goal right now, is in terms of eligibility, working on that level 2 right now. And then maybe your time to apply comes for a different cohort. But start laying out that calendar now of your own goals for this program and other programs that you want to achieve, and that'll help you get there for sure. And you can be from anywhere, so you don't have to be from the UK. You do have to get yourself there. But once you get there, food and and all of the fun at the Google office is all included for sure. But those are the big requirements. And if anyone else has questions about any more, you can email at info@certifiedinnovators.com, and we'd be happy to dig into any more eligibility questions you might have.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And I see that Desiree wants to add to that.
Just 2 cents. just when you're doing the application, I know a lot of us turn it in, right at the last second to make sure that it's in on time, but don't wait till the last second to start working on it. So even with the application, it may be good to go into it is good to go into the application, get the questions, even if you want to save it in a document on your computer, but get the questions so they can just kind of be baking in the back of your head, even if you don't have time to fill it out right now. But so you can know the questions and kind of think them through. So when it is that time for you to sit and write about it, you're not seeing it for the first time the day that the application is due. So even if you may turn it in right at the deadline, don't start doing it right at the deadline, because you do have to think these things through and think through your the application as well as the slide deck and the video. So just a tip.
Totally, and I just threw this up on my screen right now, Desiree. But you can, when you go to the actual application to get going, you can open that doc like you mentioned, and just start getting your words down there. And again, if you don't apply for this cohort, at least you have it and you have your notes. And even if you don't go in this program, it's always good to try to implement an innovative idea at your school or in your community for sure. So hopefully all this preparation and thinking about it is something that can help your practice in any way.
Absolutely. Great thoughts. Great thoughts. So just wanted to open it up. If you all had any final thoughts for anyone who is thinking about applying for the London cohort or for another one coming up, any final thoughts from the panel?
Hey, Sarah, I'll jump on that. I think, you know what, I think if you're applying, look at who is in your network, look at the people you're connected with on Twitter or whatnot. Maybe not people at your school, but people you're connected with. And I would seek those out as far as feedback. Like, do you know an innovator? Have you connected with them? Have you have you commented with them on their blogs or whatnot? Those would be the good people to reach out to for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point. Definitely using the power of the PLN. Absolutely. And we have quite a few in EduMatch. So anyone who might be reading this who's in our EduMatch family, then please feel free to throw it out in the Voxer group, use the EduMatch hashtag, whatever you want to do, just connect with any of us. Great. All right. So Desiree, what about you?
I would just say do it. Apply. Don't shy away from it, even if you're thinking, oh, well, there's so many people that applied. Just do it. Get the experience. Even if you don't get in this first time, it all chalks up to experience. It all chalks up to getting your name out there. Just do it. Go ahead and apply, get your idea, and then if you don't get accepted this first time, you can tweak it. And like Tom said, reach out to your PLN, see what they like and don't like about it. But you can't do anything if you don't apply. So do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like the old saying goes, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I can tell you all when the application opened up in, I got to say, March or April of 2014, I was just like, I don't know if this is going to work. But I tried it and it worked. So definitely have to second what Desiree was saying. All right. So going next to Carla.
Yeah, I think I would definitely say whatever, but just do it. Don't, if you've done it before and you didn't get in, don't let that be a deterrent to you. I can honestly say that the Innovator Academy experience is one of the most amazing experiences I have ever had, because you're in the room with people who are just as passionate about teaching and learning as you are. So, definitely try, don't let it deter you if you haven't gotten in. And just, it's like I said, it is an amazing experience. And don't think that you have to be like, Queen Google, King Google nerd, it's just because it's not about the tools. And I think somebody said that earlier. It's not just about Google. I think Desiree said that. It's about teaching and learning and innovation and just changing the world where you are and just beginning that. And then also building a relationship. And so this is my story and then I'm going to be done. When I went to Toronto, that was during the time of Hurricane Matthew. And so I got to Toronto and I could not get back home. My flight was canceled that Saturday morning when I was leaving, and I couldn't fly out until Monday. I met people at Innovator Academy that came to the hotel. They picked me up. They took me out to meet their family. I mean, that's just the experience in itself. Yes, you know, we are interested in changing the game for our students, but you add family to your, I mean, that your PLN becomes a family and people that you can go to for questions and support, and you can't beat that for anything in the world.
That is so true. It definitely your cohort and beyond becomes your family. I definitely agree with that. All right, and I'm going to pass it over to Wendy. Do you have any closing thoughts for anyone?
Oh man, I just second the just do it nature of everybody's last comments. And Carla, I'm still remembering just the power of the people sitting during Spark Camp, which is a time when innovators can share what they're passionate about with each other, and sitting around the couches in Google Toronto and watching those videos of your kids and learning about that. That's so true. That's what the whole power of this is. And you ask anybody what their favorite part, and it's the people, and it's the network, and it's we just had our 10-year anniversary of the entire program and had 4 different celebrations in 4 offices around the world, and people connecting, and that's really what it's all about. I mean, their projects have changed, their jobs have changed, but they all still have that spirit of innovation and transformation in the classroom and in their communities, and that's what it's all about. So thanks for having us, Sarah, for sure. And I hope you all do apply March 6th for this cohort, and stay tuned in March for other 2017 cohorts around the world being announced. You can also nominate an innovator. So if you have somebody who's that you see that is showing potential for a program like this, on certifiedinnovators.com, there's a little nominate button at the bottom that you will send them an awesome email letting them know why you think they would be great for this program. So if you're not ready yet, or if you're also applying, but you have somebody else too that you think it would be fun, because we all know everything's more fun with a friend and a colleague to make change. So feel free to nominate as well. But and thanks so much, Sarah, for having us, and so great to hear from the different cohorts here on the panel, and so awesome to be part of the EduMatch family tonight. What a great conversation online.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to our panelists, the rest of our panelists as well. So Carla, Desiree, Tom, thank you all as well for joining us. All right, so we are going to tweet the transcript of the chat within the next 5 minutes, most likely, and the show will also be available as an iTunes podcast within the next few weeks. And yes, the window might be closed for the UK cohort, but there, as Wendy said, there will be many more that will be announced in March. So if you're listening to this somewhere down the line, then just check out the Certified Innovator program. It's amazing, gotta tell y'all, for real, for real, for real. All right, so come back next week. We are going to be talking about recruiting high school students into education. So that's going to be really cool. We're going to have Adam Brown, who will be our moderator for that. So anyone can be a panelist. So you can just leave a comment, or I'm sorry, you could sign up at tinyurl.com/EduMatch sign up. As long as you're an educator, we would love to hear your voice. And if you're interested in subscribing to the podcast, just go to bit.ly/EduMatch podcast. So see some of you in Portland for Integrate Ed later on this week. So everyone have a fantastic week.
Thanks, guys.